back to how to balance Kundalini, right? Now, there are also some of us who know that something's not quite right, and okay, we figured out that this is what it is, it's Kundalini, right? And some of us either want to shut it down, or we think, okay, well, take it to a better place, but we're not prepared to take the steps to taking it to a certain place. There will be resistance. Now remember, that resistance and that rigidity are already there in our system energetically, and that's where the blockages are coming. Yeah, so this out of balance also is our energetic body. These are also where the blockages are coming. Like I have my Mia, dogs are very, very good when it comes to trying to also help you balance this energy, right? In different ways. If you can, then they're great companions too. Water, supplements, Kundalini, there's an entire biology of Kundalini. In fact, there is a book, Biology of Kundalini, right? There are certain things that happen to us. It's the way that the neurotransmitters play out, and certain imbalances that are then going to create, this excess heat, excess cold. And also what I found most difficult, I think it wasn't so much these physical symptoms, but it was what was happening somewhere else, and that I had no control over when I was in my body and when I was out of my body, right? And I remember at one point when I was sad, I looked at the floor and I was off the floor. And rather than me thinking, oh, okay, this is, one of the siddhis when you're able to levitate, you're able to get off the ground. It scared me, and I thought, get me down, bring me back down, right? Now, as you are in that state as well, when you are feeling really high and you're really connected and you're really enjoying this sort of trance and this blissfulness, right? That in itself can sometimes be an imbalance, okay? Because if the Kundalini at that point, say, is working on your heart, right? You may experience a heart expansion. So you may suddenly have no filters. You will feel so much love overflowing. It'll just sort of be there, okay? But you won't, even when you meet people who may need a bit of help, you might feel that I am the savior, I am the one who's going to go and help, and then you will end up being a martyr, and then you end up in these sort of all weird push and pull relationships and what have you. And what you find is you literally go from that state coming back into a state and feeling absolutely miserable and everything else. But apart from that, so then you're back to working on something that you already had to work on, right? But physically, you may feel exhausted, burnt out, right? Totally burnt out. And then you rebuild yourself, which is why we say, when you're going through this metamorphosis, when you're going through this transformation, you're going through this amazing, amazing journey, engaging in a push and pull relationship, engaging in something that's going to draw out energy from you, when at the moment what you need the most is all of your resources to help you, right? Which is why your practice, you wake up early in the morning, your cold showers, you're taking care of your body, right? Keeping to yourself, being aware of yourself, meditating, breath work, asana, posture, eating well, right? Again, no alcohol, for example, because alcohol will create havoc, but by that time you may have already given it up, okay? So no intoxicants, they all create certain imbalances too. So if you're also somebody who would have had substance abuse, previously, right, and you're now having a Kundalini awakening, chances are that your Kundalini will be a little bit out of balance. Not necessarily, but could be, because your nerves were already wrecked, right? Or you already had a little bit of systematic damage somewhere. So that's also another reason why we would have this out of balance. Now, we know that the good news is that any imbalances can simply be restored back to balance, back to the whole sense of self, because the main basis upon which we do experience a Kundalini awakening, and why it would happen even when your nervous system is not prepared, and when you're literally fried already, right? When you have suffered from CPTSD, PTSD, you're a trauma survivor, near-death experiences, right? When you are literally not looking for this, or when you are looking for this as well, you can still experience these imbalances, because it just depends on how things were already with you to begin with your nervous system. But the reason is Kundalini, right, is part of our self-sustainability, self-organizing, right? It is part of our, it's like the card that you draw right at the end. It'll come and save you. So it's actually a reset to our system. But it will not be able to reset and transform if our awareness and our conscious does not move with it. So, say for example, an answer to our prayers or something that you wanted to get out of this, and we said, okay, somebody gives you this information, but you think, no, I don't want this information, or I'm not going to try this, I'm not going to have ashwagandha, or I'm not going to have superfoods, or I'm not going to do any yoga, right? And maybe that was the answer you were seeking anyway. But as most of you know, my stance on a lot of these things is always, you go with your inner feeling, your inner gut, and you know that that feeling is guiding you when it's not coming from a fear of survival. Yeah? Because if it's coming from that, then you are relying on an instinct to survive, not intuition to thrive. Okay? So your Kundalini awakening, though when you have this imbalance, its ultimate aim is to restore balance. But one must surrender to that as well. So one of the things is, when you get fearful of, I don't want to see this, I don't want to experience that, you do a free fall in it. Right? You free fall. It's not easy to go through, for example, the last knot, and when it just shoots, right? And the rewiring of the brain, which is one of the last things that happens. None of these things are as easy, or as blissful and, oh wow, life is full of joy kind of thing. No. There are some very serious, grave imbalances that we may have to contend with, which I would not like to discuss on this channel. So I have tried to explain imbalances in Kundalini in the most neutral way that I could possibly do, without going into certain very real dangers, and that have happened to people. Anyway, those of you who want that to discuss anything very, very personal, you know what to do. Just drop me a line. Otherwise, please hang in there. You're gonna be fine. Look how far you've come, right? We're getting there. So just hang in there. I'm about to present you with more resources. Lots and lots of love.